During the 1970s, the city of Chicago was famous for its excitement and color. But in the heart of this city, a horrifying story is silently taking place. John Wayne Gacy, a man known for his image as a successful and inclusive citizen, was hiding the worst possible secret. John Wayne Gacy, born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois, grew up in a family riddled with conflict and instability. Gacy's father, John Stanley Gacy, was a severe alcoholic who frequently erupted in angry outbursts. He was not only a poor father, but also an abusive figure, both emotionally and physically. The beatings and verbal abuse from his father left deep psychological scars on Gacy, creating wounds that were hard to heal. Despite enduring his father's abuse, Gacy tried to maintain a normal appearance. He attended high school, but his academic performance was only average. Gacy did not stand out academically, but he always made efforts to assert himself through extracurricular activities. This helped him sustain a positive public image. After graduating high school, Gacy started working part-time jobs and gradually built his career. He became a successful businessman, which helped him craft a perfect image in the eyes of the public. Gacy was known for his charitable work and active participation in the community. He frequently appeared dressed as Pogo the Clown, a persona he created to bring joy to parties and events. With his friendly appearance and cheerful demeanor, Gacy became a well-known figure in the community. But behind the smile of Pogo the Clown lay a horrifying secret. Gacy was not just a successful and influential man, but also someone with dark desires and horrific crimes. These realities would later be revealed in a shocking manner. Gacy had constructed a perfect facade, hiding his perverse desires and criminal behaviors. While the community around him saw only a successful and trustworthy man, in reality, he was living a life of a ruthless murderer. The story of John Wayne Gacy serves as a stark reminder that evil can be concealed behind seemingly perfect outward appearances. John Wayne Gacy employed various tricks to lure his victims to his home. Most of his initial victims were young men, many of whom were homeless teenagers or looking for job opportunities. Gacy would approach them with job offers or simply an invitation for drinks and entertainment. Once these victims were inside, a horrifying series of events would begin. Gacy often used a magic trick that he had honed to deceive his victims. He would perform a magic trick using handcuffs, pretending to show the victim how to escape easily. But once the victim was handcuffed, they were completely helpless. After restraining the victim, Gacy would begin his sexual assaults, often accompanied by psychological and physical torture. He found satisfaction in having complete control over the victims and relished every moment of their suffering. Gacy used rope or tape to strangle his victims. He would often laugh and say, "The magic trick is here. You can't escape." These words were not only taunts but also part of the psychological game Gacy took pleasure in. He enjoyed watching the victims struggle in their despair. After the victims were dead, Gacy buried them under his house, turning the basement into a private cemetery. He buried at least 29 bodies there. When the basement was full, he disposed of the bodies in the nearby Des Plaines River. For over 6 years, Gacy committed these gruesome crimes without detection. Those around him only saw a cheerful man who frequently engaged in community activities, never suspecting that beneath his house lay a mysterious cemetery. In 1978, the disappearance of 15-year-old Robert Piest sparked concern in the community and caught the attention of the police. Robert Piest was last seen when he went to meet Gacy regarding a job opportunity. When he didn't return home as expected, the Piest family reported the case to the police, launching an official investigation. The initial investigation didn't yield significant results, but as investigators decided to take a closer look, they started noticing suspicious signs at Gacy's home. Although Gacy appeared cooperative and confident, investigators sensed something was off. The official search began when the police entered Gacy's basement. Investigators had already viewed the basement as a suspicious area, and as they started digging, what they uncovered left them in disbelief. As investigators continued digging, they unearthed skeletons and bodies buried beneath the basement. Among the 29 bodies discovered, many skeletons were severely decomposed, but all belonged to the missing young men that the police had been searching for. This discovery shocked not only the investigators but the entire public. Gacy was immediately arrested, and after interrogation, he confessed to his crimes. He admitted to murdering a total of 33 young men, all under the age of 30. The story of Gacy's crimes quickly hit the media, sending shockwaves across the United States. The entire nation was stunned to learn that a man once considered successful and trustworthy had been hiding such a horrifying secret for years. Questions arose about how Gacy managed to maintain his perfect facade for so long. Psychologists and investigators analyzed his behavior to understand why he committed such horrific crimes and how he deceived everyone around him. In 1980, the trial of John Wayne Gacy began. Gacy faced 33 counts of murder. The trial garnered public and media attention, with many of the victims and their families present. During the trial, although Gacy's lawyers attempted to defend him by claiming he suffered from a mental disorder, the overwhelming evidence was irrefutable. The evidence not only pointed to his guilt, but also proved that Gacy committed these crimes with full awareness and intent. Gacy tried to deny responsibility, blaming mental illness, but this could not hide the fact that he was a cold-blooded murderer. The victims and their families awaited justice. In the end, Gacy was sentenced to death for his crimes. He received the maximum penalty for the heinous acts he had committed. This decision brought some measure of justice to the victims and their families. On May 10, 1994, after more than a decade in prison, John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection. His death closed the chapter on one of the most notorious serial killers in American criminal history. Gacy's death not only marked the end of a horrifying string of crimes, but also served as a sobering reminder of the hidden dangers that can lurk even within those society deems trustworthy.